Hi y'all, Jenny Minnick here. Today I'm going to share with you my solve for the lion's share box. And I know that a lot of you have read my Facebook post and many of you disagree, some of you kind of agree, but I think you'll find that this solve today is pretty wild, so buckle up and let's have some fun. So first of all, I really love the book. The pictures are gorgeous, the stories are inspiring, so kudos to Jon for that. He did a great job. And as I read through the book, I started to notice some things. One of the things I noticed was the constant reference to number 5 and to circles. I also noted that Jon said that he had an expert for every box to help him. And I noted, of course, the word joy. I think we all noted that and how many times it's in the book. And then there was also, I picked up where he said that the treasures he picked out, he went searching for them specifically. And they were aligned with like the theme of what the boxes were. So that told me right there that the pictures in the book and the treasures themselves are actually clues to where the boxes are. So I first read the book when I was on vacation on a cruise, and I had an opportunity just to relax and to read it cover to cover to see what I thought. And something in the very last part really intrigued me. He said something about the map of the Appalachian footpath coming full circle. And I thought, well, that's very interesting. So when I got home, I decided, well, I'm going to start reading the book over again and to see how it all started. And right on the very first page, it just jumped out. The light switch just flipped. And it all was about the story that he told about his son who had this love for treasure hunts and maps. And his son was looking at this map of the LA area. And I thought to myself, if a 6-year-old boy was looking at a map of Los Angeles, what would he be looking at? And then it just hit me. And I got really excited and I started skimming through the book, looking at all the pictures, and like all of the stories started jumping off of the page. The pictures started jumping off the page. Everything aligned with what I was thinking. And I just got really excited. And today I'm going to share with you what I believe my solve is. And I'm going to give you all the proof and the backup for it. I'm not going to share everything. There are some things I'm going to keep for myself, but I think that you'll find it interesting nevertheless. So without further ado, the lion's share box is in Disneyland, Anaheim, California. To get us started, I'm going to go through some imagery in the book and show you how it aligns with the solve, and then I'll walk you through the Joy Serenade poem step by step and show you where each place is. I'm not going to tell you everything, like I said, because it's not enough just to tell you where it is, because you're going to have to do stuff when you get there, and that's for you to figure out. All right, so first up is the Tiki Mask, and this aligns with the Tiki Room area of Disneyland Park. And if you zoom in to the picture of Disneyland, you'll see all kinds of similar masks. Next up is the temple picture, and it lines up with the photo of the Indiana Jones temple in the Disneyland Park. In fact, if you rotate the real photo slightly, even the bamboo falls right into place with the roots in the book's image. Now remember guys, we're just looking at general imagery right now. We'll get into the specifics really soon. And here we have the picture of the ship. And if you look closely, the ship is nearly identical to the ship at the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Remember the story about Picasso and how he brought a daily red rose? Well, in Disneyland, there is the Red Rose Tavern. And this picture from the book looks like the adult Peter Pan learning to fly, and this aligns with the Peter Pan's flight ride. I love this jewelry. It reminds me of fairy wings. Do you know the most famous fairy of all? Well, it's Tinkerbell, of course. Now, I want to take a minute to remind everyone again to think about how Jon described how he chose the pieces for the treasures. He already knew where he would hide the boxes and chose the treasures to follow that theme to serve as clues. So it makes sense why all these treasures have a Disney imagery. Okay, here's another one. This picture from the book looks like the AI rendition of the cover for the Hercules movie. And if you look really closely, the little angel at the bottom left corner is even super similar in both pictures. Now this image from the book, it could fit either the Jungle Cruise ride or the Indiana Jones ride, since it's all jungly. But I bet if you watch the Jungle Cruise movie, there'll be a scene that looks something like this. I haven't looked myself, so if you do, drop me a comment below and let me know what you find. And here we have the golden horseshoe. This one is another one of my favorites. Check out how much of the diamond from the treasure looks like this cube from the Galaxy's Edge area of Disneyland. And it looks like we have a basketball player in the Galaxy's Edge too. Check out this picture and look how much the mountain in the picture looks like the one in the Galaxy's Edge. And if you look really close, the one in Disneyland actually has the green rocks in it too. And here are a few more treasures that have Disney imagery. Look at the purplish bluish gem. It looks like the evil queen in the mirror if you look closely, especially if you shine a light through the back of the page. And the brooch, it looks like a princess bow. The clock and glass look like the characters from Beauty and the Beast. And the dead-looking tree with the single red apple makes me think of the poison apple in Snow White. And this picture from the book, it looks a lot like the inside of Sleeping Beauty's castle. And here is my most favorite of all. Even the lion's share box has Mickey Mouse ears. So the imagery is overwhelming, but it's not proof enough, right? So next I'm going to walk you through the park using Joy Serenade. And let's take a look at the treasure walk. Here is the poem in its entirety, and I'm not going to read it all now, but instead let's take it line by line. To start, we need a map of Disneyland. Let's use this Disneyland map for the rest of the video. In the first line of the poem, we find the words molten and Toon. And in Toontown, you can find the Toontown Fire Department shown here. This gives us a starting point. After each step we take, I will update our map to show you where we've been and where we currently are. So here we are, starting in Toontown. The next lines speak about a conductor waving his baton to show us which direction to go. When this poem was written, there was a fountain with Mickey the conductor on top with his baton in the air. However, in December of 2025, Disneyland replaced the fountain. If we follow Mickey's baton, we will head down the path leading out of Toontown. The next lines of the poem talk about a flutter of excitement around. This is because we've reached Pixie Hollow, where all the fairies live. And here we are at Pixie Hollow. The next lines mention a reference to a compass and geometry. And as you can see, we've arrived at the Astro Ride. And look closely at the markings on the large metal spheres. Do they look familiar? Maybe on the coins? And here we are at the compass. Next in the poem, we're told to never doubt because this is not an imaginary wonderland. This brings us to Tomorrowland. Here we are, and as you can see, we are not in Wonderland because we've already passed through it. The next lines say that we can take different paths, with the X leading one of them. And as you can see, the X-Wing ride is toward the upper left, so we can go in this direction. If we continue in the direction of the X-Wing, we will enter the Fantasyland area. Here you'll find a small pond area with the Royal Theater. Notice this round structure has pike all around. And if we jump back to our map, you'll see that we are here. The next lines of the poem talk about finding shady oaks. And right around the corner from where we are now is a cool tunnel made of oak boards. In fact, it's this close. Next, the poem mentions a haiku. And as you may recall, there was a haiku in the jacket cover of the book, if you were lucky enough to have received one. The haiku in the book talks about a sparkle and pine and joy divine. And this is the Disneyland Christmas tree that few have ever seen because you have to come at Christmas time to see it. Back to our handy-dandy map, here's where the Christmas tree was when we were there in November. The next lines of the poem talk about how high you want to be. This puts us way up in the Star Wars area where the Rise of the Resistance is, after passing through the New Orleans Square and the Bayou Country. And here it is on our map. As you travel from Star Wars to Galaxy's Edge, you will spot the dancers on the land, just like the poem says. And here we are now in Galaxy's Edge. And if you stay until dark, you will see fireworks that look like the dancers battling in the sky. The fireworks literally look like the shooting star in the picture from the book. Once we come out of Galaxy's Edge, we come to a T in the road. The poem says all that is left remains for us, meaning that if we turn left, then we will see the remaining part of the park we haven't visited yet. If we take the left and follow the path, we will arrive at the Founder's Circle at the center of the park. Here in the middle stands Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse holding hands. Around the circle are pedestals with the other Disney characters on them. And just like the next lines of the poem say, they are there sat up on a rock. This spot is the most photographed area in the park. Couples and families embrace one another and have their photos taken in front of the castle and beside Walt and Mickey. And if you ask for assistance, you can have your photo taken too when you go. After your photo, you can sing harmonies as you travel home and stop by the Dapper Dans, who are the Disneyland Barbershop Quartet. And if you've kept up, then the Joy Serenade poem ends here. I made a Pokemon route to show you the route of where the treasure walking path is. This wasn't part of my solve, but just a little something fun to do to commemorate the experience. The path is not exact, but it's close enough. So if you're ever in Disneyland and like to play Pokemon Go, check out the route code. I have one more thing to show you. I took each of the treasure box coins and arranged them in a circle to mark the area. This is similar to the image I shared on Facebook. Just like this entire treasure solve, do with it as you please. And now that you know where X marks the spot is for the lion's share box, go claim your treasure. Happy hunting, y'all. Next up, I'll share my solve for the Appalachian Footpath box. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think so far.